So whether you're up or back, just make the ball the priority. And he does this. He's never leaving. That's very nice. Let's do one more of those. One more, exactly the same two. I really like that.
And we are so pleased to be joined by Erik Spoelstra, two-time NBA championship head coach, longtime coach of the Miami Heat. And I want to start with this stage of your career, man. You've been through it all. You've won championships. You've been on teams that struggled. You've had some seasons maybe that had some turmoil, injuries, you name it. Just how you have evolved as a coach as you approach your off seasons and you get ready to start another new year with some more personnel changes. Like how are you different today than when you first started doing this gig?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a bit, quite a bit. My first 2 years, we made the playoffs both years, but I would say, most people didn't really think my career started until we had those championship level teams. So I was able to make a lot of mistakes those first 2 years when no one was watching. But the game has changed. It's like every 5 or 6 years, there ends up being some new things that you have to adapt to quickly. But I love this profession. I love the organization I work for. I love being part of teams. Love developing teams, developing younger teams, developing championship level teams, and everything in between. I just feel very fortunate to be in this profession.
Good rep, Gabe.
But I think some of those years that were challenging were probably the greatest opportunities to grow and evolve during those off seasons.
Now, strong with the ball every time you rebound, just like Bam did right there. Nobody's getting stripped or anything like that. The only pass is up. And then if it's not there, it's not there.
I think a guy that raised the bar on what his ceiling is a year ago, Tyler Hero, and the year that he had much more responsibility offensively, and he absolutely answered the bell. What did you like about his growth a year ago? And did any of that surprise you that he could kind of take his game to that level?
I would say what wouldn't surprise me is his commitment to improve every offseason. Yeah, he's one of those kind of guys that's hardwired to work in the offseason and almost to an irrational level. He's one of those guys that you're trying to reel back a little bit in terms of his work, but he puts so much time in. That's one thing. But the second thing is he's also very honest about the things that he needs to improve on. And he and I have had several meetings over the years after the season. Hey, these are the things that you're going to have to focus on. And I've usually asked him, and he's usually right on the money of the things that I was going to say. And then he just gets to work. And you're really happy for guys. He was able to make the All-Star team. That's been one of his goals. And like I said, we don't want to limit guys and say, no, you should only be focusing on this. Like that's something he wanted to do. So we want to help, make that happen for him. And then also, hopefully, it leads to winning.
So you have a major personal acquisition, Norman Powell, now in the house for you guys. He had an incredible year with the Clippers a year ago. In assessing your team and then looking at him coming in, his impact, what specific areas of improvement are you looking at your team and saying, we absolutely have to clean this up and we have to be tighter here? Because you're evaluating film all the time, looking at your personnel a year ago. What areas are you identifying as what I call non-negotiables with your team? Like, this absolutely has to be better.
Well, offensively, we need more scoring. We need more offensive output, and Norman Powell is one of those kind of guys. He had a career best year last year without even going to all the details. He's a great three-point shooter. He's great with the ball. He's great without the ball, which is important. He's great at attacking, particularly if he can get to his right hand, finishing in the paint. He's got a touch, inside the circle. We need all of it. We need all of it. We need to improve offensively across the board, and he can be a big part of it, so you can't just scheme for specific players. We just need a little bit more depth, a little bit more versatility offensively. We think it'll be able to help.
One of the things I've really admired about you as a coach, and I've often said I wish as a player I could have played for a guy like you, because I've always felt like you value players for what they do well. And you treat it like if they have weaknesses, which we all do, it's your job to protect them from those things. But you don't harp on those things. You focus on what value they bring to your team. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because you've identified a lot of guys over the years that have come in and had great success in your system. That some people might have been surprised that they could be that level of an NBA player.
Well, we love that process of it. Trying to help players reach their dreams, whatever they have imagine, in their mind. We want to make it happen. We're at a point now at the Heat that you kind of know what you're signing up for. So you do have to have some level of buy-in. They understand that there's going to be a level of expectations and standards and what we're competing for all the time. But both things can be true. We can try to compete for championships and have the culture and have our standards, but also be dream makers and allow people to explore their strengths. We want to show great belief in players. That can move mountains. But it takes, a symbiotic relationship. Whatever you want to do individually, but also make it happen for us, what we're trying to do, as a team.
Been saying it for a while. We've been worthy to win, and during that stretch, we were not winning, but we're still doing the things that make you worthy to win. Well, it's for a moment like this.